Good morning. It is me, Pearl, and this is Tuned in Tarot. And we are about to look at the balance between the divine masculine and divine feminine energies inside of ourselves, understanding that this is energy, not gender, and whatever energy is inside of ourselves, we can see reflected back to us in the outside world. So, if there are real people that you want to glean information about from your life, you can do so understanding that whatever those real people are doing is just a reflection of what's inside of yourself. So, if you want them to change, you have to go within and make changes in yourself. All right, let's get started. Divine Feminine is going first today. She had most of her cards revealed to me, and Divine Masculine's cards were completely hidden today, except for the top and bottom of the deck, which of course are always visible. So we're going to go first. We're going to let Divine Feminine go first. Top of the deck, overall headspace, forefront of her mind, King of Swords. And he's in reverse. So we have a divine feminine who's thinking about the divine masculine aspect, not being present, um, not being here in his truth and his integrity, and really kind of sitting hardcore in the shadow traits of this king, which is icy aloofness and not really being manifest. I would say it's also about overthinking, kind of just thinking obsessively about this divine masculine and really wanting to get out of her own head about him. And that is absolutely supported by the niggling thought in the back of her mind, which is the Queen of Swords, who also came out in reverse. So here's the pair of them, and they are both in their shadow traits because the separation has caused them to withdraw from one another to such an extent that now they are both choosing to remain silent, to be icy, and to be aloof, which is so interesting as we're coming up on this conjunction tomorrow and this new energy. There's this feeling that divine feminine has that she really wants to release this king. She doesn't want to be in a place where she's constantly feeling in this Queen of Swords energy. She wants to leave this energy, and she's understanding that for as long as she's focused on his shadow, she will be in hers. And for as long as she's focused on his iciness and his aloofness, that is what she will experience. So she's really looking to release this today. Now, I have a headspace that's almost completely in its reversals. So I think Divine Feminine's been going through it a little bit. And it's been in the headspace that's been most problematic. Her heart space has been feeling pretty good, but her headspace, although we haven't looked at her heart space today, but her headspace is really got a lot of stuff kicked up in it. And she is really feeling the strength of the release energy. So, again, forefront and back of mind, swords, this is in the headspace. This is very much in the headspace. And this is very much when I focus on a divine masculine who's aloof and icy, I become aloof and icy. And I want to release this and I don't want to be in this place anymore. The first thought on her mind is the Six of Swords in reverse. So she is feeling like she has not necessarily been doing a great job of navigating the waters of her emotions and her sadness and her, loop, like just feeling this mm, longing, feelings of longing, wanting. She's wanting to release. She's feeling like she's not doing a good job. She's in the shadow traits of the Queen of Swords, which is to be, not necessarily like in so like trying her best to control them. And it's really in the end controlling her And she's really understanding that that's why she's wanting to release the King of Swords and the Queen of Swords energy, so that she can use the light traits of that royalty to be able to navigate these waters of emotion better, and to ferry herself away from this old ass energy and to a new shore. She's really wanting to do that, and I think she's just aware of the conjunction that's happening and really in her head about it, like, all right, this is it. I can't do this anymore. I can't do aloof and icy king anymore. Like, that is not where we're at. That's not going to be okay. From here on out, this needs to absolutely change. And it's not changing. So as long as it's not changing, I'm changing. I'm changing my focus. I'm changing my goals. I'm changing. Because not navigating the waters of this emotion, this sadness over the loss of this dream that I've had for so long, and really realizing that I have to be my king and queen of swords. I have to strategize and plan for myself and conquer these emotions in a healthy way, so that I can have the thing that is feeling very blocked right now, my happiness. Here it is. Doesn't have to be here, doesn't have to come out in the spread. So she feels happiness, but she feels that it's being blocked by this overthinking, loop thinking that doesn't help her navigate, but instead kind of just stirs up the waters, creates more tumultuous emotional state, so that her happiness, which really should be here because she's achieved so much, and because she's still got that lingering desire for that physical union. It seems so important to her. And that's why we're seeing those cards in reverse in her head, like, please release, release, release. She wants to release so that she can have this happiness. She wants the speed to pick up. The slow and steady bullshit that she's been experiencing from Divine Masculine, which of course is of herself, like slow and steady, blah, blah, blah. I want this to go somewhere. I don't want to just be sitting there with my horse grazing while I'm staring off into the landscape and being like, oh, isn't it pretty? I want to get moving. I want to have this offer that I know is solid and I know is significant actually come towards me, so that I can experience the only upright card in my headspace right now, this 10 of Pentacles, my happiness, my spiritual and material fulfillment made manifest. I want to see that happening. I want to see it. I need expansion because it's hard for me to believe before I can see this happening for myself. So I have to find ways of expanding into this consciousness, into my abundance. And I need to pick up that speed. I need to use my intellect to navigate my fears, worries, emotions, stop blocking my happiness, allow myself to feel happy as I am right now, whole and in union, so that I can have this 10 of Pentacles. And finally, make my way towards it using my brains. Okay? What has blocked her happiness? Eight of Swords energy. But she's releasing it. She's releasing tendencies to self sabotage, energy behind her, so that she can finally experience the happiness that she's built for herself. This 10 of Pentacles is here. This is not the 9. This is the 10. It's here. There is an ending here. There is a culmination. There is a manifestation. And she's blocked from its realization only by her inability to control these thoughts that are happening in her head, that these thoughts that are feeding into the worries and fears in the heart space, instead of helping to clarify that she's actually got her happiness here. See, she thinks her happiness is physical union, and she's wrong about it. Her happiness is not physical union. Her happiness is union in self, Her happiness is achieving 10 of Pentacles, the manifestation of her dreams, herself, irregardless, or regardless rather, of the divine masculine presence. And we have the Queen of Wands. And the Queen of Wands is in her shadow traits because of the slow moving energy that is coming from this Knight of Pentacles that is moving so slowly towards her and frustrating the hell out of her. She really is passionately desiring that this Knight will pick up his pace, stop being so sluggish, and really show up. And she's understanding that she must do that. She must tap into her passions. She must tap into her action and take real actions herself if she ever wants to see this offer. Because there's not uh, a physical manifestation that is going to bring her this offer. She thought that was going to happen, but she was wrong. She realized that she wants to be the one that brings herself this offer. She wants to take these actions for herself. If she doesn't do it now, she never will. She's told herself a story like, oh, when I'm in physical union, then I will feel like I'm a queen. And then I will be able to do what it is that I'm supposed to do in the world. No, you have to feel like that now. And both of your queens are in their shadow traits. You're not fully feeling the power that you actually have. I'm realizing that I turned my mic down. Oh, I'm going to turn it up a little bit because I recorded yesterday and I turned it down a little bit. Okay, let's look at our heart space. The top of the deck for the heart space, the overall feeling of her heart right now is 3 pentacles in reverse. No teamwork, no collaboration. This is solo energy working on the self and feeling that it's important right now to still be doing this, and also feeling a little bit frustrated by the fact that she's still doing this. There's also this lack of being able to see this 3D manifestation, this 3D energy. So she's just feeling the full brunt of being alone, doing this work on her own, not being able to do this teamwork that she's desiring because she's desiring to do this with someone else, but really accepting in her heart space that that's not happening. And that's all right. That is the lesson that she's needing to learn, that she must do this on her own. The niggling feeling in her heart space is no different than it was yesterday. It is still this devil energy. It is still in reverse. So her heart space is still urging her to continue to release obsessive thinking, which we had a lot of swords in the headspace today. Obsessive thinking, loop thinking, not focusing on what she wants, focusing on what she doesn't want. Her heart is still urging her to release this energy, being addicted to these ideas about working together and being a team, and really, really releasing the fear that she has that she can't do it on her own. She can, she will, she must, right? There is no other option. There's no other option. She must be able to work on her own, even if physical union happened today or tomorrow. She would still come back to this energy because this is an energy that is necessary for the self. You must be, Christ said, love your neighbor as yourself. And when I first learned that as a child, I thought that meant that I had to love my neighbor before myself, that when I loved someone, that was how I loved myself. I didn't understand that you have to love yourself first in order to be able to love your neighbor, that those two things were not mutually exclusive. You must love your neighbor as you love yourself. Like that was an integral part of that teaching. And it was sort of, filtered through this lens of it being sinful to be selfish. It didn't really distinguish between being self-focused and selfish. And so now she's really learning that lesson, and it's just this lesson that's going to be constant. right? It's never going to stop. Like, you have to constantly be working on self, for self, in order to provide for others. The first feeling up in her heart space is Two of Swords energy. And it is clarifying the Six of Swords in its reversal. So she's really being defensive here. There's the shadow traits of the Queen of Swords in her headspace. So we already know that she's being defensive. She's put her guard back up. She's protecting her heart again. She's really being mindful that she has a lot of options. She doesn't have to choose anyone who lowers her vibration. She doesn't have to do that. She has to, in fact, choose herself. And so she's protecting her heart. She is trying not to be convinced that there's only one individual who can ferry her away. She's really trying to do that work, that she must choose herself, that her option is to choose herself to navigate out of this strife and struggle and build that bridge of that pain from where she is to where she wants to be. And then we have the Nine of Wands. We have an exhausted, healing divine feminine, and she's very tired. And you know what she's tired of? She's tired of blocking her happiness. She's tired of having been focused on this one specific individual who is a bunch of this, not a man of integrity in his shadow traits, aloof, icy, not expressing to her, not in command of anything, just focused on himself. And she's tired of it. She's exhausted. She's doing this healing to try to unblock this abundance, unblock this happiness, and reveal and illuminate what it is that has been holding her back from feeling that happiness without a divine masculine manifestation. She's also feeling the sacred union. We have the Hierophant energy. She's feeling this desire for this. Now, this is the card of marriage, but it's also about higher lessons, higher level learning, 5D relationships, legal contracts, rigid belief systems or structures, tradition. She's feeling, she really does long for a traditional sacred union in the physical. And this is clarifying this Knight of Pentacles. She's really wanting the divine masculine energy to become manifested and to have an actual offer of marriage from a divine masculine who is in the light traits of the King of Swords, a man of integrity, with truth and directness and honesty. And she's longing for a sacred union with a divine masculine that will bring that offer to the table, not withhold it, but bring it forward. Holy shit. Queen of Swords in reverse. So we have union here between head and heart space. Also, we're very balanced today. We had 6 cards in both head and heart. So she's done a good job of balancing out some of this loop thinking in her head space. She is being the Queen of Swords in her shadow traits. In regards to this 10 of Pentacles, she's thinking too much about the physical manifestation. It's causing her to get hardened and feel cold and icy and wanting to retreat and focus on trying to really strategize and plan for her own 10 of Pentacles without that marriage that she's longing for. Instead, she's kind of blocking the divine masculine from bringing this in by hardening into this energy. But she feels it's necessary because of the lack of reciprocity that exists between them. So she's really kind of gone into her shadow, and her heart is urging her to release the shadow traits of the Queen, the Queen of Swords, to become less defensive And her headspace is working on it, right? She feels that her heart is urging her to release these traits, but it's tough because she doesn't want to get hurt. She's really worried about getting hurt again because she's got only her past experiences right now, which is why she needs expansion. She needs to be able to see that people can change, they can shift their energy so that she can have a belief that this particular divine masculine that she's interested can change and shift his energy and stop doing what he's always been doing. And then we have her strength here. Now, this card has not left her. It is really, really, really solid in her heart space. The strength of the connection, the lemniscent, the strength of this eternal connection that they have, her strength, her ability to control her pride and ego. She's really tapping into it. And that is what is helping her to release these self sabotaging behaviors and traits that have been a part of her experience. So she is calling on that strength that she has to be able to navigate that self protection and release that urge to go into that Two of Swords, to go into that Queen of Swords shadow trait and block and prevent her abundance from coming to her by focusing on these thoughts and fears that don't serve her. And then we have the Ace of Cups back. We have a full cup and it's overflowing and it's able to be shared. And at this point, it's clarifying this Queen of Wands energy, this passion that she feels. She feels like my cup is so full and all I want to do is to be able to share it. And it really pisses her off that she can't. That when she expresses, there's no reciprocity. When she speaks from her heart, she receives nothing in return. And sometimes even overt rejection. Sometimes even hurtful gestures happen. It's funny. I had a dream last night about there's this really great, like, I guess what TikTok person. I don't know what that is called when you're like doing that. But this dude makes these really cute videos that I just adore. And I dreamed that I was like trying to flirt with him and he rejected me really painfully. And I was just like, why would, like, my sister was with me in the dream and I was just convinced that, and we were talking about it, and like the only reason that he would do that is because of my body type. Like if I looked different and I flirted with him, even if he wasn't interested in me, he would be nice. He wouldn't be a rude asshole, which in the dream he was so rude. And so I called him out and I was like, ew, fuck you. Like, how could you treat me like that? Like, what a jerk, whatever. And like I woke up and went to my Instagram and was like going through my Instagram and saw one of his videos and was like triggered. I was like, it was such a powerful feeling that it translated to I don't know this person. He probably wouldn't treat me that way. But my headspace was convinced that I would receive this rejection if I expressed interest, that I would receive iciness, coldness, and outright rejection, right? And it really made me angry in the dream that I could be so open and loving and heartfelt and just like, I love you and I love what you do. You're so funny and like whatever. And that he would just throw that away and not make that was nothing to him. Like in fact, he purposefully wanted to wound me to keep me away from him, like to keep me from coming towards him because I was in my mind like so bad or whatever. So she's frustrated by having this cup and not being able to share it. But it is filled. It's filled with her love. She knows her self-worth. She knows what she's worth. So she's really struggling to deal with these feelings, these tendencies to protect herself from this type of rejection. My sister was like, ooh, girl, your Cancer placement's in your chart. She was like she's always seeing memes about how Cancers will like be like, you cheated on me in my dream or whatever. And I was like, oh my God, real. Wow. I'm turning over the cards in Divine Masculine's headspace. Okay, let's see. Divine Masculine, here's how you're doing today. The top of the deck, the forefront of your mind, is the Hermit energy in its reversal. So you're planning to come out of this isolation that you're in. You know that this is important. You've been doing the soul searching that you needed to do, and you're ready to come out of isolation and no longer be on your own, just kind of ruminating over what it is that you want to do, plan to do, whether you should do it, etc. You're coming out. And you've gained perspective because the niggling thought in the back of your mind is justice. Here's justice. Once we see this justice, we will choose a new major arcana card. We've been on this card now for 2 months because the justice has not fully happened. I really hate how my camera is like dark. I don't know why that happens. So this justice is here, and you understand that you must bring an apology. You must bring justice to this union. You must do the things that you've been soul searching about how to do and what exactly you must do. And it's time. You feel this feeling of it is time to bring justice. Five of Pentacles energy, lack mentality. Divine Feminine has been left out in the cold, and consequently, she's leaving you out in the cold. You are both really out here, though, as my friend Vanessa says. You are both really out here, though, in the cold. It is lonely. You are aloof. You are not seeing each other. You are not talking to one another. You are not feeling warmth and affection. You are out in the cold. And that is the justice that must be done. You must be brought together. And of course, Divine Masculine, it's up to you to initiate this, and you understand this. And now we have, in the same position as Divine Feminine, a mirror. Happiness. Your happiness is not blocked right now. You are feeling happiness, you are feeling excitement, and you are ready to be out in the light, in the full light of day, in this energy of illumination and revealing what was hidden to the Empress. And she's upright today. She is not in her reversal. She is upright. She's approachable. She's fertile. She's abundant. She's wife material, and she is your happiness. And that is who you want to bring out of the cold. You want to bring her out of the cold and into the light so she can be in her full glory, resplendent in that full glory of that sunlight. Here's the Ace of Wands in the same position as it was yesterday, but it's in its reversal. And it's clarifying this. And it is a realization on your part that you have been a complete and total dick. And you have been in the shadow traits of that Ace of Wands, where you, first of all, have not allowed your passion to be revealed. You have hidden it. You have kept it. You have withheld it from Divine Feminine. And it's because of a lack mentality that you have about what happens when you are passionate and when you approach the Divine Feminine. You fear that, just like my dream about my rejection, that is that Divine Masculine part of self, that taking action and expressing passion will be rejected. That has been your fear. And so because of that, you have withheld your passion and your ardor for her. You have only allowed it to be expressed with Knight of Wands energy, which has been very unpleasant for Divine Feminine. And you are wanting to release the shadow traits and not be motivated by only your sexual passion, but instead that passion of the heart. You want to be able to actually give her a loving, passionate offer and take this action towards her. But you are still feeling like you are not in your full power as the King of Pentacles. You're still not completely manifest. And you want to bring this illumination. You can see both of these cards have this yellow, bright, illuminated, revealed, manifested kind of an energy. It's also confidence. It's that solar plexus chakra. You want this illumination, you want this happiness to be available to you despite not fully feeling that you are completely in your King of Pentacles energy, that you're not sure if you're not trusting that you can provide, that you can protect, that you can, you know, give her this foundation that you've been longing for. But remember, this bitch doesn't need a foundation. She's got her own. She commands empires. What is a king of pentacles to an empress? You know, just one of the kings in her kingdoms. So you're trying to have happiness despite not feeling like this, despite still needing to work on healing this energy with her. And then the final thing we have is you have some sadness, some reflecting on the past. That you were being pessimistic, except that it's clarifying the Empress and she's upright. So I think what I'm seeing here is you are releasing your sadness and you are working to be optimistic that despite your feelings of inadequacy, which I will say, this isn't a page, right? It's the king. The king doesn't have to be here. You know your potential. You just don't feel like you're in your full potential right now. And you're also trying to release the need to be. You're trying to understand that as you come into union and feel happiness, that is what brings you all of the abundance. That is what brings you the stability and the foundation that you need, because you're no longer denying a whole part of yourself, right? So you're trying to remain optimistic that you will be able to approach this queen, this empress, despite the spilled cups between you, despite the sadness that you have caused her in that Five of Pentacles energy. Okay. The top of the deck for the heart space for you is the Knight of Swords. So, no, I'm sorry. The page, the princess energy, Princess of Swords. I forgot about this freaking badass Elise mullet she's got going on. I covet this haircut. Like one day, maybe I'll just get a wig, but this is so Bowie. We love it. All right. Page of Swords. So you are willing to pick up this sword that you don't know how to wield. Your heart is feeling brave enough to actually bring this truth, directness, and clarity to this union, to yourself, to reveal to yourself what has been holding you back. And you don't know what's going to happen, but you're being brave. You're doing that thing that is very frightening of running into battle without feeling fully prepared, but you are ready to face what you're afraid of and bring actual union here to the 3D. And then we have another mirror for Divine Feminine. We have the Six of Swords upright. So this is the niggling feeling in your heart space. This is the first thing on Divine Feminine's mind of needing to ferry herself, needing to use her intellect and her thoughts to be able to make her way from where she was to where she wants to be. This is where you are. You are in a place where you feel like you are strong enough to be able to use this pain and suffering and strife that was once holding you back and use that to navigate to where you want to go and build that bridge from those painful things that happened. So basically, taking what is in these spilled cups and using them to build a bridge to help you turn around and see these two cups here behind you. So your heart feels fully capable of that today, that you could ferry this union to a new beginning. First thing in your heart, the Queen of Pentacles, and she's upright. This is a specific manifestation of the divine feminine. You are feeling love for her. You are seeing her in all of her power. You're not worried right now about whether her foundation is stable. You're not worried that she can't provide for herself. You're not worried that you can't approach her. Right now, the Empress and the Queen of Pentacles, which are both very welcoming queens, the Empress, and of course, Queen of Pentacles being approachable, being open to you, being ready to accept your love. You feel that you are ready to approach this Queen of Pentacles, and that this lack mentality that you've had about her and about the physical union is passing away. She's not in her lack. She is able to provide for herself. She is that Queen of Pentacles, and you do have a feeling of longing for her. And then, wow, 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 wow. The Seven of Swords, this mask that you wear, this cleverness, the strategy, the self-protection that you do with this card, the hiding energy, the, not revealing your thoughts, not revealing your ideas, but keeping them hidden. This is in its reversal, a release of this energy, a taking off of the mask, and it is clarifying this illumination. So your heart is ready to reveal what has been hidden. You are feeling balanced in your temperance energy, which is now upright. So you are trusting in the healing of this energy, and it is clarifying the Empress. So you are feeling the balance within you, the balance between the divine masculine and the divine feminine. And you have moved into this temperance energy, which is what is allowing you to approach divine feminine. Ooh, and end the cycles of oppression that have happened in this union because of this energy of being a total dick. You are ready to end that cycle of not expressing, not showing yourself, not revealing yourself, not revealing your passion and your ardor and your love. Hello, Adriana. Not being able to fully express. There is an end here to the separation. There is an end to the withholding that you have done, and heading towards the completion of your world, which is that union with that divine feminine. And here it is. Wow, wow, wow. The reunion, the Six of Cups, being in the good thoughts, being in the, oh my Lanta, being in that next card. Holy shit. Being in the happy, positive, good feeling energy of this reunion and basking in each other and relaxing finally. And this is what is clarifying this King of Pentacles in reverse, which is coming into this reunion to shift into a manifestation of you in the 3D in this relationship, to finally be present and have that reunion that you are clearly longing for. And then finally, remember this, the Five of Cups, which is the last thing in your mind. The last thing in your heart is exactly what I said. Not being pessimistic, being optimistic about being able to have this union in the physical world with your Empress because of your temperance. All right. I don't hate it. And divine feminine, isn't it interesting that you went through this unpleasant evening, it looks like, and had all this sword energy about needing to really release this attachment and stop focusing on it and focus on yourself. Isn't it interesting that as you did that, divine masculine's energy is in a place where he's ready now to have his reunion. He's back in his temperance energy that was in its reversal for a couple of days. The Queen of Pentacles, the Empress, those are all upright for him. The Six of Cups is upright. The world is upright. The Seven of Swords is in its reversal. All of the things that you would like to be in a healthy version of a divine masculine is here. And the ability to pick up the sword and be brave and wield the sword, even though he's not sure. So, do you think that it is valuable if you focus on yourself? Because I think it is. I think it's very valuable. All right, let's look at the oracles. Now, you were doing pretty good today. You didn't get too many messages, got a little more than yesterday, but not too many. You are in the light attributes right now of the hedonist, my favorite card, because I am a Leo with a Pisces rising. So, girl, I do love to indulge. You are in the light traits, though, which inspires creative energy to embrace the good things in life and celebrates the beauty in yourself. So, you were really not allowing yourself to be swayed by these feelings of aloofness from this divine masculine, this refusal on his part to fully acknowledge the beauty in you. Like my dream being, so it took place in a restaurant, and the guy that rejected me was the host of that restaurant too. And I grew up, my family owned a restaurant for years. That's a big, and we were supposed to, in the dream, my whole family, and then it ended up, then I went to the restaurant's manager and was like, your host is rude. He was rude to me and I'm never going to eat here again. Like, it was just so funny. Our dreams are so funny. And, but interesting, right? That I was in a place of hedonism in that dream, a place where you drink and eat, and enjoy the finer things in life. And I didn't let that rejection, like, make me spiral. I faced that rejection. I called him out for what I felt was unfair. And I chose to value the beauty of myself, understanding that I am beautiful and that, his rejection was based on social restrictions and not on actual fact or anything else. But accepting that beauty in yourself and really celebrating it and embracing the good things right now and just enjoying being here on this planet by yourself, just by yourself. Your guardian angel is here to support you in this wise decision. You've either made a wise decision, which I see as releasing constantly thinking about this divine masculine and instead choosing to think about yourself. Or you have a wise decision that you need to make and you will be supported in that decision. Either way, your guardian angel is helping you with that, assisting you with that. Saint Mother Teresa is here to help you be an activist. Now, this is helping you kind of get into that masculine worth energy in yourself, right? Taking action to maybe implement the wise decision that you've made or to implement a wise decision that you are about to make and be an activist for yourself. In my dream, I was an activist for the body positive movement. So, to be in this place where you're honoring yourself and the beauty in yourself and you're taking action to show you believe in that and show that you believe that you yourself are a cause, like you are worth fighting for, you are worth taking action for. We got this again. I can gradually change my vibrational frequency. There is no thought that you cannot eventually have, just as there is no place you cannot eventually reach from wherever you are. But you cannot instantly jump to a thought that has a vibrational frequency very different from the thoughts you are usually thinking. Now, this is from the Abraham Hicks deck, Ask and It Is Given. And I also have been using this program by Lacey Phillips called How to Be Magnetic, which has a bunch of these different modules that take you through your subconscious limiting beliefs that you were groomed in between the ages of 0 to 7. And she says up to 14 if she's being generous. And in her program, I love the program, but there are some things that I feel like it's funny that she's very I don't know, resistant about. And she's kind of always being sort of negative about the law of attraction movement and the people who talk about it, saying, like, oh, you just have to, imagine positive things and then positive things will happen to you. And she's like, it's not that simple. And that's actually true. But I feel like she sort of throws the baby out with the bathwater when she's kind of in her attitude about it, because I think that Abraham's teachings actually do teach you what it is that you learn from Lacey. But I think that Lacey just helps you do the process, whereas Abraham just tells you there is a process and doesn't necessarily reveal it exactly. Lacey has her ideas about how to unblock, and I think they're very effective. And one of the things she says is you have to see to believe. Now, that isn't true. Not entirely. I don't believe that. I do think that you have to believe before you will see it. But what she means is you have to see that expansion is possible in order to believe the expansion is possible. And that is what this card is talking about. It's saying there's no thought that you cannot eventually have, but you can't instantly jump to that thought without expansion. So, for instance, in my dream, I was upset at that guy for rejecting me, and I felt it was because of my body type. I felt that he would have welcomed my approaching him if I had a more typical, quote unquote, hot body, which means I'm still working on dealing with my feelings about my body. Now, I do feel that, my thick body is a lot more attractive than I ever really thought in the past. I'm almost 40. It's taken me a long time a comfortable place with my body, and I still work on it even in my dream space. But what I believe is possible for a woman who looks like me now compared to what I believed about it 15 years ago, it's shocking, right? I've seen expansion. I watched Adele be on the cover of Vogue. I watched Lizzo be nude on the cover of magazines and receive a Grammy for being talented, amazing, hot queen. But I've also seen her have to deal with, you know, she just did like some kind of a smoothie cleanse recently, and everybody was on her about it. And it's like there's still these limiting beliefs. I still need to see more expansion happening to fully embrace my potential. And that's happening. It's working. I'm gradually increasing my vibrational frequency to get to the point where I'm no longer held back by these blocks. And that's what this card means. You have to seek out expansion. So if there's something you want to do, you need to find expanders who have actually done it. Like, let's say you want to have a lot of abundance, but you came from, I'm going to use my own background, a really small redneck town in the deep south of the north of upstate New York. You want to have millions of dollars. You want to be able to create a lot of wealth for yourself. And no one in your whole town has ever done that before. And especially in whatever field that you've chosen to be in. So if I tried positive thinking myself blue in the face, I would still be limited by the fact that I don't have an awareness of someone else who's done that like me. And so I would need to go and find somebody who's done something similar. If it can be exactly as close as it can be, if she's thick, if she's came from poverty, if she's the same ethnicity as me, if she's like whatever it is, that's even more of an expander. If she's only a fragmented expander, like she has some but not everything, it's still expanding me. It's still getting me closer to where I need to be. So start to call in expanders who can help you shift your vibrational frequency so you can get where you need to go. This is very applicable. Show the world the real you, right? Do not hide. Do not hold back. Just show who you really are. Do not be afraid that you will be rejected for who you are, because those people that reject you, they're protecting you, because you don't want to be with people who are going to reject you for who you are. The people, the ones that accept you, they will be there. They will be excited. They will see how beautiful you are, how hot you are. They won't be limited by their beliefs. So show the world the real you. Do not hold back. Work through your fears, and this was emphasized. Push through those fears about showing who you really are. Take that action and push through those fears that are holding you back right now. And then what is not aligned and needs to change. So there's still some things going on that need to shift and change. I know what my things are. I just heard them as I expressed my dreams to y'all. Expressing a super vulnerable dream. Um yeah, so funny. All right, divine masculine. You've got quite a few guardians today, but everything else is looking pretty balanced. So I just think you need a little bit of assistance in terms of some support from your light council. But you're in the light attributes of the storyteller, which is the ability to experience and express life through stories and symbols. And there's music and there's writing and arts. And so, divine masculine, you are in the light attributes of this. You are really able to express through stories and symbols, and you should be doing some storytelling right now, and you should be telling us the truth about what has been going on with you and really start to express in this power that you are now in. All right, you have three guardians. They're all very positive and they're all upright. You have Saint Hildegard von Bingen. She's been with you many times, Divine Masculine. I hope that you have developed a devotion to her because she's really, really been with you quite a lot. And she's helping you right now to believe. You are maybe feeling some doubts about yourself. We saw that King of Pentacles energy in reverse. You're feeling some doubts about it. And you are wanting to come forward for this reunion and be optimistic. And so she's really reinforcing the belief for you to help you in your optimism. Saint Dymphna is here again to help you be guided by your emotions. Do not suppress them. Do not numb them. Do not hide them. Listen to them and use them to guide you where you want to go. That sword that you want to pick up and wield, your emotions are going to tell you how well you're doing it, better than somebody, on the outside of you telling you you're not doing it right or you're doing it wrong. Your emotions are going to let you know. If you are starting to wield that truth and with directness and clarity, and you feel any kind of lower vibration like sadness or frustration or anger, you must shift how you're wielding that truth into the light. Follow your emotions and let them guide you. Your guardian angel is here to help you with your commitment to yourself, your commitment to this union, your commitment to your children, if you do have children, but your commitment to family and to being able to make this commitment and not be afraid to have a commitment again, because I do sense fear there. You always get this card. Why is it taking me so long? The only reason you have not already received what you desire is because you, you are holding yourself in a vibrational pattern that does not match the vibration of your desire. That is it. It is taking you so long because you are holding yourself back by staying in that place where you feel sadness and loss and worry and pessimism, but you are working to release it, and your guardian angel is here, and Hildegard von Bingen is here to help you. So it will stop taking you so long when you stop noticing how long it's taking, number one. And number two, you stop holding yourself in that vibrational pattern of how long it's taking. Imagine yourself as your own kid in the back seat of your own car, every 2 minutes saying, "Are we there yet?" And you're like, "No, babe, we aren't there yet." Okay? That little kid, how do you get that kid to stop asking, "Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet?" In my experience, you change the music to their favorite music and get them to sing. Or you play I Spy with My Little Eye. Or you ask them to tell you how many times they see a purple car. or you say, hey, let's put in an audiobook and read it together, or you distract them. You give them things to keep their mind occupied on the not focusing on the journey. So get out of the place where you are focused on how long it is taking and how long it has taken, and focus instead on where you want to go. Another thing that I would do for my son is be like, wow, you're really excited to get there. What makes you excited about going to Nana and Poppy's house, which was a 6.5 hour ride from Boston when I lived in Boston and used to have to go up to my parents in on the border of Canada. And I would say, boy, you're so excited. What are you excited about? And he'd say, oh, I'm going to get to see Spike, and I'm going to get to play with Uncle John. I'm going to get to swim in the pool, and I'm going to get to ride my bike, and I'm going to get to, stay up late. And he would get excited about it. Do that. Protection. Call back your power. Cut the cord. You are protected. You're safe. You're absolutely safe. This union is necessary. Twin flame unions, their purpose is for healing on the earth. You're very important to the divine, and the divine is protecting you so that you can do the work that you need to do, so that you can be part of this circle and protect the people that are here. Aha, see? Beep, beep. All right. And then finally, the bottom of the deck for both of you all. All righty. Y'all are both in your shadow attributes of the martyr, which is an addiction to self-pity. Guilty. Yesterday, I spent most of the day in super heavy shadow Queen of Wands energy. I was like, what is actually wrong with me? It's funny because I've been doing Whole30 and I was on day 15 yesterday, which is halfway through. And I've done it 5 times. And usually by that day, I feel like super excellent. And yesterday I did not feel good. My digestion really isn't that much better. This is what I was telling myself. That's not entirely true, but whatever. I was just like, I don't feel very good. I don't feel great. Like I felt this energy that is actually known to happen more in the first week, and it's called kill all the things. And that's how I felt yesterday, which is unusual for me, even at this point of my cycle in terms of hormones or whatever. It was really heavy, really uncomfortable. And I was really pitying myself, being like, just wallowing in it. So I can fully relate to that addiction to self-pity and needing to call in the traits, which is learning the transcendent nature of service to oneself or a cause. So be in the light. Really learn how transcendent it is to be of service first to oneself, your activism for the self, to be able to really be in your worth. And by doing that, that ripples out around you and people start to reflect that back to you. And your, friends who for years have been addicted to self-pity, as you shift into your light, they trust you. You're building that trust muscle, right? And so now they're shifting into that energy of loving themselves and honoring themselves. You really do create those ripples around you and the people around you. Understand that transcendent nature, that your pain, that the things that you have gone through, you can pity yourself for a minute, but then snap out of it. Do not stay there. Like release that tendency to wallow in that self-pity, because that gives you exactly what you're looking at. More reasons to be pitied, right? Your guardian angel is here to tell you both to look up to the skies. You're going to get a sign from above. Now, there is going to be a major conjunction happening because tomorrow is the winter solstice, and we are going to see a major shift in the energy. And this old release energy we've been working on for the last few months, really since the portal, the Lionsgate portal closed. We're going to see a culmination of that energy. So look and pay attention. Gives me consistent results Life, like learning to understand the basics of mathematics and then having the successful experience of understanding the results of their applications. Once you have a formula for understanding your world that is always consistent, it will yield consistent results to you. So, in other words, the law of attraction is your formula. And if you consistently apply that formula, you are consistently going to see results. And I attest to that. Right now, divine couple, this is a time to give rather than to take. So you need to be giving without quid pro quo. You need to be just being generous and giving. And then inner temple devotion, tune in to the portal of your heart. So both of you tune into your heart space, give rather than take, look for signs from above, consistently apply this formula, and step into that transcendent nature of service to oneself and this cause that you have, which is to come here and do this healing mission work that you've been called to do. That is today's reading. It was beautiful. I really enjoyed it thoroughly. I was worried. After my energy yesterday, I was like, what the hell am I going to see today? And what I see is a lot of progress. You have to remember that in our society, the feminine has been oppressed, right? Try to deny that. You cannot. The feminine has been oppressed, continues to be. She's received a lot more freedoms and her voice is a bit louder. I had another dream recently where I was trying to call out to my family and I couldn't get my voice to be loud enough so that they could hear me. And that feeling of your voice being suppressed and hidden and being told that you are incapable, that you're an object, that you're a possession. Um, all of those messages that happen to the feminine because of the imbalance that exists in our world. When I look at this spread and I see a divine masculine who's focused on the feminine, every single one of the cards I'm looking at right now has a feminine on it except for two. So the divine masculine is fully focused on integrating this feminine because the masculine imbalance is that he's not tuned into the portal of his heart, right? The intuitive feminine energy. And when we look at divine feminine's spread, there's no divine masculines in it. Now, part of that is because the decks I choose for her, but I mean, the one divine masculine we're seeing today, there was two actually, they were both in reverse. And instead, what we're seeing is her needing to work through these beliefs that she is limited, that she cannot do or be or have for herself. And that is a huge, huge, huge thing to overcome for divine feminine. And divine masculine energy kind of needs to understand that because I think he gets a little salty when he sees her being like, I need to do this myself and I have to do this for myself and I need to. But divine feminine is she's fighting off more oppression in her energy than divine masculine is. And he has to admit that because his work has been to integrate her, to allow her to be part of himself, to allow the feminine. Because if the masculine has been oppressed in any way, it's been that he has suppressed the feminine energy in himself. Not only are we not like honoring the feminine in our world, in our society, but we're not honoring the feminine within the masculine energy or the balance. There is an imbalance here, and it is definitely, definitely about not allowing the feminine to be in equal balance with masculine energy. Divine feminine needs to have masculine worth energy. Divine masculine needs to have feminine devotion energy, right? So that's what we see in the spread, and that's what we see the work that's being done. So if that explains why divine feminine is like, I need to do it for myself, I need to be for myself, I need to do this, and divine masculine is like, I need to be with my divine feminine, I need to have, it's not necessarily that some of it is that he felt like he needed a physical feminine in order to be able to experience this, but he's learning this lesson that he's integrating this feminine, not having her outside of himself do this healing work, do this nurturing. He's learning how to tap into his feminine inside of himself. if that explains this process here of energy, not gender, because we can be any sex, any this energy still applies to us because it's just a description of polarity, two sides. Like all right. Thank you so much. I hope you have a lovely night tonight. The song for Divine Masculine was Oh Holy Night, Oh Night Divine. And so I really feel that this energy for him is shifting and that this night is of importance. And the Divine Feminine song today was, you know, how I can weather any storm because I have my love to keep me warm. And that's true. There it is. Her cup. It's full. It's not a body. It's her own love for herself that's keeping her warm. And this is allowing her to be able to be complete inside of herself. All right, everybody. Have a lovely day today. Take care.